Now, welcome back. Now, the Ministry of Gender Equality, Poverty, Eradication and Social Welfare is hosting an event to commemorate International Human Rights Day, Namibia's Women's Day, as well as conclusion of the 16th Day of Activism in Otjiwarongo later today. Now, the event will be held under the theme Dignity, Freedom and Justice. And Dignity, Freedom and Justice, Unite, Activism and Violence Against Women and Girls. We now cross over to NBC reporter Evelyn Paulus, who is standing by with a director in the Ministry of Gender Equality and Child Protection, Directorate in the Ministry of Gender Equality, Poverty, Eradication, Social Welfare, Helena Njaba, as well as the Governor of the Otjiwarongo region, James Warikwa. It's over to you, Evelyn, and good morning.
Thank you a lot. We are joined by the Governor of the Otjiwarongo region, Governor James Warikwa. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much. Good morning, Namibia. Good morning, everyone.
How will you define human rights and how is it observed in your region?
Yeah, human rights. The definition, first of all, I link it primarily to the Creator, the Almighty, because human rights are coming from not the generosity of institutions, but from the hand of God. In 1948, on the 10th of December, the United Nations have overwhelmingly agreed upon a resolution to come up with a convention that deals primarily with the human rights. And as a result, what you call the Universal Declaration of Human Rights was born, which is a document that today is the most copied document. Around 500 copies are available globally. And it is talking primarily about the inalienable rights that everybody on earth is entitled to, irrespective of your color, your creed, your race, everything else. It is the rights that are inherent upon you, and that is what the United Nations came to declare under the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. And also the same day, when you go on, it is also in Namibia, the same situation where the same 10th of December, there was an uprising that took place in the old location. And today we are commemorating that day as a day of human rights in Namibia, and the Namibian Women's Day as well.
The theme is Dignity, Freedom and Justice, Unite, Activism and Violence Against Women and Girls. How does it speak to us as Namibians? As
Namibians, we know very well. We have been seeing a trend whereby gender-based violence is increasing amongst our community, and this is coming from a number of factors. However, government didn't fold hands, but we stood up to say that we need to fight against all this, and by doing so, establish institutions under the Ministry of Gender Equality and Social Welfare, the police and other law enforcing agencies to actually tighten the screws as far as gender-based violence is concerned. Activism in Namibia, government have declared a 16-day program whereby for those 16 days it's about awareness creation, it's about coordinating, it's about activism in the Republic of Namibia, that every individual, every institution, and in whatever capacity, we need to be active participants in fighting against gender-based violence. 33% of the age between 15 to 49 of our girls and women are going through gender-based violence, and that is a serious number, and that is coming from a number of misunderstandings and a number of factors that are affecting people at home. So we should do everything and anything possible to be active participants and become activists in our own small corner and fight against gender-based violence collectively. That is important for a safer Namibia for all, for a safer Namibia for a girl child, a safer Namibia for women out there. That we guarantee our future, our citizens' future going forward.
All right, today we are commemorating Human Rights Day here in the Otjiwarongo region. What does it mean to the region to host an event of such magnitude?
First of all, what does it mean to the region? I would want to take and elevate that. What does it mean to the country? You remember very well that on this day, 10th of December in 1959, as you know very well, the apartheid regime by then have started to introduce a number of domestic apartheid policies in Namibia, Bantu education, the segregation of people based on race and color. the relocation of people from the old location and trying to create a number of suburbs or townships where black people should be living, to say that you are not allowed to be staying here because of your color. As a result, we have to relocate you. And then following this, an uprising have started, and that is coming from a number of traditional leaders, churches, local education groups and so forth, that saw it fit that we need to stand up against these, because if we don't do it now, who then will do that? Selflessly so, political parties by then, SWAPO Party, SWANU, and the others stood up and joined the system and ensure that in the end, let's ensure that we stand up and fight against this, because if we don't do it, who will do it on our behalf? Following that very day, the 10th of December 1959, the police opened fire on an unarmed group of Namibians that are protesting against the old location, moving of people from because of race and color. After this, our leaders, on that very same day, we saw that 12 people were killed and others were injured. But after that, our leaders didn't just sit idle as Namibians. They combined effort from various corners and they went into exile to look for ways how best can we liberate ourselves. You know, the migrant worker system with very, very harsh conditions in terms of labor conditions and all this led to a lot of our leaders to go into exile at that very time, mobilize at the various fronts with the aim of liberating the situation back home. But the regime, the apartheid regime, didn't sit idle in Namibia as well. They went ahead also to create zones in Namibia. And that is through a segregation plan. You know, they came up with what you call the Odental plan. That saw the white zone, and of course you have another satellite zone. And out of the satellite zone, you would say 10 other homelands were supposed to be created. And that was met with fierce resistance from the local leaders. And that led eventually to the uprising. And today, as a country, we are free because of the selflessness of our leaders, selflessness of the mothers, sons and daughters of this country that went ahead to say that we are not going to sit idle in our own country, but rather we will go out there and fight against these unjust and fight against these colonial apartheid laws that are there to segregate and oppress people. So as we are talking of the liberation, I mean the celebration of this day today, you also don't want to forget that back in 1894, 1884 up to 1894, when Theodor Ludwig was the governor under the commandship of the German Imperial Reich, was here to try and take over this country, I mean our nation by then, through colonial means. And then of course the Herero and the Nama people rose up and mobilized and fought against the German government, which is today known as the first genocide of the 20th century. Yeah. And out of that, Namibians have lost life. We're celebrating in Namibia, in the Shozonjupa region. It's an interesting day, yet memorable day, that we all, as all Namibians, we need to come together and fight strongly and celebrate this day with good memories of what our mothers and brothers and our daughters and sons went through.
All right, and just to round up, talk to us about projects that the region has rolled out to raise awareness about gender-based violence and highlight the importance of human rights in the region.
The importance of human rights is enshrined in our Constitution, primarily Article 3. It is that today, after this long struggle, SWAPO Party of Namibia, together with other parties and institutions and stakeholders, fought fiercely and liberated this country. Today we are free. Today your freedom is guaranteed, freedom of speech.
All right. You have to
freedom of speech, freedom of association and affiliation, and all that. So we are celebrating today in the Shozonjupa region. There are a number of projects that are lined up. Yeah. But importantly, today we will be joined by the Minister of Gender Equality and Child Welfare, Doreen Sioka, in commemorating the day with various institutions and organizations that are present, and that will be joining us today. So, calling upon all the Shozonjupa residents to make your way to Mokati Stadium. Let us join the United Nations in commemorating today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
That was Governor James Worikwa. Back to you, Lord, in the studio.
Okay. Now, welcome back. Now, that was our own very reporter, that's Evelyn Paulus, who was speaking to James Worikwa, the regional governor of the Shozonjupa region, on the commemoration of the International Human Rights Day, Namibia's Women's Day, as well as the conclusion of the 16 days of activism in Otjiwarongo that will be taking place later. Now, stay tuned as we get to continue after this short break with another interview.